He walked into the broken house with no expectations, but what he saw inside stopped his heart. The cold wind howled as Nicholas stepped out of his luxury car, staring at the worn-down house he had been quietly searching for. The paint had peeled, the roof sagged, and weeds had claimed what was once a little garden. It looked like it hadn't seen love or warmth in years. His driver offered to wait, but Nicholas waved him off. This was something he had to do alone. Years ago, when he was nothing more than a reckless teenager running from a broken home, he had collapsed on a random porch with nothing but a bruised face and a bleeding hand. And someone had helped him that night. He never saw her again after that week. But he remembered her warmth, the food she gave, the way she never asked questions. All he knew was her name, Maria. Now a billionaire, with empires under his name and a life of status, Nicholas had spent the last year searching for her. All leads led him here, to this forgotten little street at the edge of the city. He took a deep breath and knocked. No answer. He knocked again, louder this time, and the door creaked open just slightly, revealing a dimly lit hallway that smelled faintly of wood smoke and dust. He stepped in slowly, calling out, "Hello, Maria?" A frail voice echoed back. "Who's there?" He turned toward the sound and froze. There she was, older, thinner, her hair streaked with gray. But it was her, Maria, the woman who had once opened her door to a broken boy, and the moment she saw his face, her lips parted in shock. "Nicholas?" Maria's hands trembled as she lowered the kettle from the old stove. Her eyes were wide, barely able to believe the man standing in her doorway. You were just a kid," she whispered. Nicholas smiled, his voice softer than it had ever been. "And you saved that kid's life. I never forgot you, Maria." She motioned for him to sit at the old wooden table, the same one he remembered from years ago. It was scratched and worn, but still standing, just like her. "I didn't expect all this," she said, her voice shaky. "You're the Nicholas from the news, the billionaire." He shook his head. "Titles don't mean anything today. I'm just the boy you helped." She looked down, almost embarrassed. "I didn't do much." "You gave me shelter when no one else would," he said, leaning forward. "I was in a terrible place. You didn't ask questions. You fed me, you patched me up. And then I disappeared. I've hated that part ever since." Maria blinked away tears. "I always wondered what happened to you." Nicholas reached into his coat and pulled out an envelope. "I didn't come just to say thank you." Maria hesitated before opening it. Her hands shook as she read the document inside. Her mouth opened in disbelief. This says my house is being bought and rebuilt?" "Not bought," Nicholas said gently. "It's being gifted. You won't pay a dime. And I've arranged care, a new place to stay while we rebuild this one. And more, if you'll let me." Maria's eyes welled up. "Why would you do all this?" He looked at her, his voice steady but full of emotion. "Because I wouldn't be alive if it weren't for you. And it's time someone took care of you the way you once took care of me." Maria covered her mouth, speechless. Neither of them noticed the kettle whistling on the stove. The past had finally come full circle. And something told Nicholas this wasn't the end of their story. Over the next few weeks, Maria's world transformed in ways she never imagined. Bulldozers came and gently cleared the old, crumbling structure. A team of architects and designers, all hand-picked by Nicholas, worked day and night to recreate her home, but stronger, warmer, and more beautiful than before. Still keeping the heart of it, the little fireplace, her favorite rocking chair spot, even the ivy that once climbed her front wall, now replanted with care. But what touched Maria even more than the bricks and wood was the way Nicholas never left her side. He visited every evening, sometimes just to drink tea, sometimes just to listen. He didn't come as a CEO or a billionaire. He came like a son who had finally found his way back home. One evening, as the sun set behind the hills, Nicholas stood on the new porch with Maria. "You know," he said softly, "when I was lost, this place, your kindness, was the only thing that felt like safety. I never thought I'd get the chance to give that back." Maria's eyes glistened as she looked at him. "You're giving me far more than I ever gave you." Nicholas shook his head. "You gave me hope. And you never once asked for anything." She smiled. "That's what real kindness is, my dear. You don't do it expecting anything back." He looked at her for a long moment. "I want to do more. I want to build something here, not just for you, but for people like the boy I once was." She tilted her head. "What do you mean?" "A shelter," he said. "A place for runaways, for kids with nowhere to go, a warm bed, a meal, someone to listen, just like you gave me." Maria covered her heart, overwhelmed. "That would be the most beautiful thing." Nicholas nodded, looking out at the land. "We'll call it Maria's Haven, and every soul that walks through its door will know it began with one woman who gave a boy a second chance at life. Kindness doesn't need to be big. It just needs to be real. You never know whose life you might be changing forever."